It's Coach Keyton Crawford here on the Crawford Podcasting Network on this beautiful summer-like September morning. September, 15th? We're halfway through September. Boy, it's blazing through with some sunshine and heat and absolutely loving it. It was a warm day in Big Ten country yesterday. Victorious outcomes for both Michigan State and Michigan, probably in a different persona as far as where their attitudes are, their fan bases, and maybe even their teams are where they're at right now. Or Michigan State. I think Michigan State was a workmanlike 40-0 winner over an HB school, FCS, in Prairie View, who played hard. Just get out of there without getting injuries, or there might have been another one. We'll talk about that in a second.
Man.
But let's start with the news bag of the day, and it's in a negative tone as far as Michigan State is concerned. It's Michigan. Yeah, they had a 28-3 lead over Arkansas State from the Sun Belt Conference. But man, the optics a little bit better. I mean, the running game was terrific. But the quarterback situation, it's not a quarterback controversy. It's a quarterback dilemma. How
about that? So at the
look
same
at
time,
you. I tell you what,
on the
you and
same
I
page.
are in crazy level of sync.
How about that?
Yeah, it's almost to the uncomfortable level, to be honest
like,
with you.
almost like
We're both
I feel
joy
kind
people.
of sorry for him.
Anyway, my take right now, and then I'll get your spin right now. I mean, everybody, fans and everybody, media, we all do it. The quarterback situation, and that is a glaring situation for the University of Michigan right now. They're 2-1. They got beat by a really, really good Texas team, in my opinion, the best team in the country, without question. After we saw Georgia struggle last night, I don't know if you watched that game with Kentucky.
Well, you already know.
Yeah, you already know. Yeah. So, and this is an evolving thing. Each week we're going to throw out who we think is the best. But Michigan's got offensive line woes. They're not in sync. They're making mistakes. Donovan Edwards went the wrong way on what was supposed to be a play action. Davis Warren kind of went through the fake to space and then threw a pick. I mean, you had wide receivers running the wrong way. Two of those weren't you have protection problems on the right side in that right tackle position. Edge rushers. Michigan is vulnerable, and Arkansas State is not exactly a juggernaut on defense. I will say that on record.
The Butch Jones-led Arkansas.
They're going to have to
State.
get real quick and clean up some of these problems, as the overused term goes, because USC's coming to town. We had a bye week. They're 2-0. Miller Moss is an excellent quarterback. Everybody seemingly has an excellent quarterback, but Michigan. Anyway, so it's disconcerting, but from your, as a Michigan State former player, you have no bitterness towards the University of Michigan. I say that with confidence. And you speak with a clear mind about college football. How bad is it right now, their situation?
I like you said, I almost feel sorry for them because they're just not. They just don't. They don't like, and I don't even care the national thing, all that, whatever.
Yeah.
That's not like Michigan that I'm used
It's not
to watching.
exactly from
Saying?
attention to
Because
detail.
they always have competent, excuse me,
Right.
competent quarterback play.
Yeah.
Period. Always got decent to better quarterback play. We always call
Solid
it
assignment football.
flat belly linemen.
Yeah.
We're gonna be able to do this. Solid D. You know what I'm saying?
So after the Brady Hoke and Rich Rod era, I mean, that was kind of the way it was then, and then Harbaugh got cleaned up in terms of fundamentals. But yeah, you're not seeing assignment football on the O-line, and you're not seeing it defensively.
It bothers me to the point where it's like, it's the simple stuff that you're not seeing. Like, no, you should be able to. That combo block to that linebacker, you should be able to see that you're a Big Ten lineman. You know what I'm saying? And then just the blatant like the prime example of really the triggered when they put Orgy in, he run the play action. That kid was so wide open. The ball should have been thrown 2 steps before he threw it.
Yeah.
And then even when he threw it,
You talking about the
bad.
street route to?
No, the touchdown.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah.
Boot pass, like,
Yeah.
It was still a bad pass. It's like he throws that pass 30 times a day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, the Frederick Moss, he had him on a street, and that was overthrown, which I'd rather have overthrown than underthrown.
Always better
So
to
you're always
have
looking you're always looking for positive.
But at least the underthrow, you get the PI because they're not looking back and you stop and try to catch it. But
I understand
it
that,
was
but
so
at least
far.
he's showcasing some arm strength. And Frederick Moore is the fastest wideout Michigan has, and a core which is, I think, one of the biggest weakest link is the receiving core right now.
Well, there is no receivers.
Yeah, I
Number
mean they're
zero,
there.
Number zero is the best one they got, and if you can't get them the ball, then you're gonna struggle.
Yeah.
My other thing is, and I feel, and I'm disappointed. And I don't want to say disappointed because the kid's still a great football player. I need number 7 to be better, Edwards, and I think he's probably.
I thought he ran with more purpose yesterday.
But I'm not. I can't give that because it's Arkansas State.
Yeah,
I want to
understand.
see. I want to see it this week. But I think he's probably 7 to 10 pounds too heavy, in my personal opinion.
Yeah,
I don't think he has the juice.
Yeah, because he went 12 up
that
on it. He went 12 up. We heard at Big Ten Media Days, and increased his weight, muscle, and everything like that. I remember Tony Dorsett did that. Tony Dorsett at the time. He added another, and he was still great his senior year. But I mean, I remember Johnny Major saying, yeah, he wasn't real happy about it because he was better at 190 than he was at 202.
I just don't see.
It was the same
explosiveness.
12-pound upgrade.
I don't see the explosiveness that I've seen the last 2 years with him.
Yeah.
And I want to see that because I think the kid's
He's got to
a
have
great football
holes to,
player.
It helps when you have cover 0. You're playing Ohio.
Oh, ain't no question. No question.
Hello.
Makes things a lot easier.
Yeah.
Less people in the way.
Yeah. It's like you're at a track meet right then, literally. I couldn't agree with you more. And they they're a situation. And I hate naming names, but on the right, Evan Link on the right side is a problem. I mean, he
right
can't.
tackle struggles.
It's going to be struggles, and
But
I think
struggles,
I think at quarterback, I mean, it was pretty much when we talked to Sharon after the game that it's inexcusable that you can't turn the ball over. Davis Warren has thrown 3 interceptions in 3 games, and you can't 1, 2, and 1, and not all of them are his fault. But I mean, and J.J. McCarthy threw 3 interceptions, people, against a MAC team last year in Bowling Green, and he still had a great year, and led his team to a 15-0 in national championship. So, and he's being missed right now, obviously. But Michigan has struggled offensively countless years in September. They are a slow emergence, particularly in O-line play. But man, they're going to have to get ready real quick, because if they lose to SC, which they probably will, if I'm taking the love goggles off and everything, and then you got Minnesota. Minnesota is that squeeze game the sandwich game between Washington on the other side, their first road game, week number 6, and USC. They lost to Washington State. I know, but still, Michigan going to the West Coast. Come on, we know that history. And everybody in the Big Ten. But one team did very good at that yesterday in Indiana. We're going to talk about that in a second. But so next week, literally, I hate to say this in week number 4, but it is literally a defining moment of where this could go. Could it go as bad as 6-6 and 7-5 if things go sour, or could it go 10-2 on the high end? The ceiling, the floor is getting a little bit lower, and the ceiling is getting a little bit lower too. So
it's coming down.
It's coming down. Now on the other side, Michigan State. Hard to evaluate. Absolutely. When you're playing in such an inferior opponent, but and they're making a lot of mistakes still, but they're making plays.
Yes.
And Aiden Giles, I think, is a good quarterback. And it's getting better. But man, the test ultimately, you talk about defining moment, as good as that win. And Michigan State's going to have a good year as far as what their realistic objective was coming up back-to-back losing seasons. Get back to a bowl game, fans would tell me, hey, if I get 6, I'm cool, get back to a bowl game. And that's looking really good right now because of that Maryland win. Maryland bounced back and beat Virginia last night, by the way. So Maryland's a decent team. So that's a quality win. But playing Boston College next Saturday night, 8 o'clock, and BC played Missouri tough.
Very well.
But Mizzou scored 21 in a row to win that game, 27-21. So
it was weird how it happened, but yeah, they did.
Yeah.
And
so BC is good.
absolutely.
They're good,
Very
and they're
good.
going to be angry
Oh yeah.
when they play them in Chestnut.
Game is,
Yeah.
Gonna have a lot of
Chestnut
juice.
Hill.
Might come out with some black uniforms or something, you know.
Not a huge fan base up there, but it's a pro town.
There's gonna be a lot
but
of
a lot of
Spartans
Spartan fans. I know so many people who are going to that game.
Lots of people.
Who doesn't want to go to Boston? You can go to Fenway Park the night before. I know people who are doing that for a ball game. So, wow, what do you think about evaluate Michigan State, what you saw yesterday, and what are their chances against BC?
Well, they did what they were supposed to do when you play a team that's not on your level. And they jumped out early. It was 20, I think 28 at halftime. 20,
Got a lot of kids in the game.
Got a lot of kids. Tommy Schuster showed why he's that guy too, just in case something bad happens. Which
The
was,
backup quarterback.
Did very well.
Yep.
We
Yep.
broke off some nice long ones. Nate Carter had, a couple of nice long ones. Gavin Brocious getting hurt destroyed me and made my stomach hurt the rest of the game. So I'm not real happy about that. Boys, Dallas Mark Fincher's boy came in and did well.
Yeah.
At right guard. So, quarterback still, he still made some, true sophomore plays. He threw the pick.
But he's your guy. You
No
have
question.
a quarterback.
Sure.
And you have a guy that you can build, and you got a terrific wide receiver in Nick Marsh. Michigan State's got
He got nicked up a little bit yesterday too.
But
so.
their depth is being tested early in the secondary.
Oh yeah.
And they can't afford any offensive line injuries because that's a work in
Not
progress.
anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, now we're down another one.
Yeah.
So that really bothered me. But there was progression. Now I would like to see, I think we still had way too many, not necessarily negative run plays, but
Yeah.
we should have had no run plays that did not at least go forward.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Against that team.
Yeah.
Now, granted, you could, guys miss a play and miss a block, but sometimes, like one was glaring to me, a stretch block for a zone play,
Yeah.
and the guy shot the gap, and it's like that should never happen. So that it's like, come on, man, we're supposed to be better. I mean, it happens with our kids, but those are our kids. Those are high school kids. That shouldn't happen in college. But the defense, once again, though, that's what we're hanging our hat on right now. That front seven, the DBs, and then Brantley with the pick six. 2 of them, one took back.
That was he was deep in that. I mean, that breaks the Cardinal. He's supposed to sit that deep in the end zone and take the ball to 20. But man, I guess he was weaving in all the way down the field.
He ran. It was 100 yards. 100 yards, 106 really, but he probably ran
150?
Easy.
Took him 20 seconds. Took him 20 seconds to get down there.
With a horse collar, neck at the end almost.
Oh my God! What a great moment, though.
Yeah, for him.
Yeah.
And just to, like I said, that progression, just one more week to get better. But no, next week we're gonna have our hands full with Boston College.
Yeah, and that's a test. You want measuring sticks in college football. This is a journey, not a sprint. And with a 12-team playoff, all these games, all these opponents. UCLA, if you look at UCLA's schedule moving forward, you look at Oklahoma's schedule moving forward. Michigan's schedule moving forward. Everybody's schedule moving forward. Michigan State's schedule moving forward. It's insane.
Before it was like after Boston College,
You got
here we go.
Ohio State, the 28th.
Ohio State, Oregon, but it was like after Boston College.
Yeah.
It's the thing, no, now it's Boston College too,
Yeah.
along with those other four, because as well as they're doing.
Buy in. But you know what I love about this, folks? Meaningful football for 12 weeks.
Oh, no question. About it.
And that's where the 12-team playoff. I think somewhere down the line, I wouldn't mind 16, because it makes 16 teams playing postseason play where you're not having kids opting out, as opposed to 12 in bowl games. I'm looking at it that way.
We're
12
lo-
team for well,
we're
it's going to
losing-
be 12
we're
team for a
We're
while.
losing our friendship as we speak.
Oh, okay. You don't want that many.
You know I don't like none of this playoff stuff.
Really?
I'm a bowl guy.
Wow.
They could go back to the BCS
Okay,
and just
we
pick
differ.
two.
We differ in that regard. Overall, any big takeaway? Georgia struggled with Kentucky.
Georgia probably should have
But
lost.
Georgia has done this
They figured out
every
a way.
year. They have a it was Missouri last year. It was Auburn. They've had these games like, where the hell is that coming from? But they managed to win. They beat Kentucky 13-12 down in Lexington.
You never want to go into these games at nighttime. That's when all the magic happens in college football. The night games.
You watched that Kentucky game last night?
Yeah.
I tell you, that stadium, and I don't know what the capacity is at that stadium down there. That looks like the perfect stadium. It's the perfect size.
They showed a like a drone shot. From
Yeah.
high. There was empty sheet. There was empty corners. Whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that just tells you that it's still.
Oh, I didn't see the
basketball.
empty corner.
Yeah, they had.
Wow,
but
I didn't know that.
but
I mean,
it
you
was-
see that in the Rose Bowl
it
with
just
UCLA.
proves- yeah, well, they put all the banners on the stadium. There,
Yeah,
so you don't
fill it
see-
in. Stick a Jeep
Which
Laredo
just-
in the
right.
end zone.
Like Aloha Bowl days. That just proves that it's still
Fill it
you
with
know,
SUVs.
It's still about basketball in Kentucky, and they're never not be.
Yeah.
But the environment.
Yeah.
It was crazy,
Yeah.
and then they everybody got those new lights now. We can turn them on, turn them off, and
I mean, I bet you the TV production people hate that. They do that in Michigan. Bring the house lights up.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
It's
playing.
cool,
That
though.
sounded dicey though. Yeah.
Sweet,
No,
though.
it's cool. You got the lights and everything.
But
Okay.
they don't. That is a weapon. Not a weapon. Well, yeah, it is a weapon of destruction for
Yeah.
those big name teams that come
Yeah.
in and play them night games.
Yeah.
And you get that extra juice, and you're sitting
Yeah.
around all day watching other people getting upset.
Yeah.
And this, that, and the other. And then here you go. And
Yeah.
Kentucky had them. They had them on the ropes, but they,
They
just
have
couldn't.
dead to rights.
just
Okay.
couldn't finish.
One last college game I want to touch on briefly. East Lansing. Kirk Cignetti, what he's done at Indiana is insane. I mean, granted, UCLA is not a very good football team. Granted, it's not a big hostile home environment because typically when a Big Ten team will go out to the Rose Bowl now, and Indiana hadn't been there since Johnny Pont was the head coach in the '67 season. They went to the Rose Bowl and lost to O.J. Simpson 14-3. But that Indiana has never been, they've never been to the Rose Bowl since that time. They got to play in the Rose Bowl and they took care of business early and often.
They beat the
This
brakes
Rourke,
off.
this quarterback, he transferred from Ohio U. He's a MAC quarterback.
Now I got him around some Big Ten people.
See, he's got a better quarterback than Michigan. And Kirk Cignetti Indiana was a better coach team optically. I watched that game for a good portion before I flipped over to Georgia, Kentucky. They're a better coach football team than Michigan is right now. Just in the sun, that they're doing what they're supposed to
What
do.
they're supposed to do. Now,
Yeah.
I cut
This
in,
guy's
I
a
cut
weird
in-
dude, man, Cignetti. When you get
Yeah.
to, oh man, he's interesting. He's interesting.
I cut in a little bit on that because that environment doesn't inspire me to watch.
Right.
So I watched some.
You
but I
watch
cut it at
environment.
7, and then I cut back. It was 14.
Yeah.
And then I put my clicker on so I could see all the scores and go up and down to see who's got
Yeah.
a close game, and then I could click to that to see.
Yeah.
And it was like 28. I'm like, wow,
Yeah,
they're just
I know.
destroying UCLA.
Well,
out
UCLA
here.
turned the ball over like on the first play, and IU scored. So hey, hats off to the Hoosiers. Michigan's got to go down Bloomington. This is all like payback time. Michigan goes to Illinois. Michigan goes to Indiana.
They took care of business against
Yeah,
Central
yeah.
or Purdue. Ooh, Purdue.
Purdue looked like back to Purdue.
Yeah, Purdue.
And timing's everything in life. Don't play Notre Dame after an embarrassing, most humiliating loss in recent memory. Lost to NIU,
bad.
and they took it out on the Boilermakers.
And you know who
it was
was-
boiler down. Ooh, ooh.
Yeah, extremely impressive also yesterday.
Yeah.
Tennessee and Nico.
But Tennessee, yeah. A lot of good football to be played. Okay, before we close it out here on Coach Keyton and Crawford here at Crawford Podcasting Network, I want to ask you to go out to Tom State Community on our Facebook page, community page, also on YouTube, and appreciate you subscribing, and it'll be run to your phone. You can see all our videos from this point forward, all the way through the college football season. But East Lansing, great environment Friday night, beating Grand Ledge 38-21. And Jace Clarizio had a couple of explosive plays that reminded me of Randy Kinder. I mean, as far as just the one down right in front of your sidelines, on the western sidelines, the game was still in doubt at the end. Man, he's got some speed.
Juice. It was.
He's got some, and he's going to be an eventual MSU football player next year, so Spartan fans can embrace him. He wears number 0 for the East Lansing Trojans.
Yeah, I mean, great game for the kids. I mean, once again, Coach scripts out, the first, 10, 12 plays, and we were just right down the field like we have the last.
You got one field goal on it,
weeks.
keep 2 deep penetrations. You got one field goal.
We should ourselves in the foot by, making, poor decisions and
pick six.
That and
they win like 90.
Right.
Yeah.
And, we shoot ourselves and put ourselves in these positions where, we should have been up probably 21-0.
Yeah.
But we're not.
Yeah.
So at halftime, we're down, 14-10?
14-10. It was 14-3. And so I give East Lansing a lot of credit. They got Okemos next week, but, Okemos is hanging in there. And that will be an interesting game because you got staff members who used to work together. But then the big game with DeWitt, who just hangs a lot of points, early and often against their opponents. Maybe more than they need to, but that's another story for another day. But anyway, it was a good win and a great environment. A great environment. I thought it was a flashback environment. Now, high school football is weather related. It was homecoming, it was great to move that up there.
Yeah, earliest homecoming ever.
Yeah, but it was fine, and it was. And Grand Ledge always bring. Grand Ledge as a community.
They follow their people now.
They follow. I mean, hats off to the Comet family. You guys. Hey, very cool.
They were 2-0. They had a good win.
They're feeling good, and they'll have a good year.
They got some big old giant.
They got
kids
this
out
kid,
there.
this Baker kid, that running back.
Baker runs well.
He's a sophomore.
Just a baby. Big kid.
He's a big dude. He's like an Eric Dickerson running up right kind of guy.
We got to get him to get his pad level down a little bit.
You think it's too high?
Oh yeah.
You think he runs too? He runs like Eric Dickerson. That worked for Eric Dickerson.
He has to learn to lower his pad level.
Remember Eric Dickerson?
But Eric Dickerson was.
He was running like a drum major.
He was running 4 threes though. A little bit different.
Yeah.
Mr. Baker's not quite that fast, but he's definitely going to be a problem going forward for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
But they got big, excellent linemen on both sides of the ball. It was a struggle, but our kids moved them, and like you said, the 78-yard, 80-yarder. I mean, when we put that on film, and I'm watching from up top, and I'm looking and I'm watching the kids, and we blocked it exactly how we draw it up.
Yeah.
And the kids did exactly what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And Jace did exactly what he's supposed to do, and then outran 2 angles. Which is just
it was smoke through a keyhole down that.
It's born Craig Johnson ability by his dad give it to him, and down the sideline he went. It was like, it's a beautiful teach tape. Like that's what you put on. Like this is how we run.
Yeah, they had East Lansing also had a kid, Antoine Bagwell. I mean, you coached against him.
All of them.
Yeah, and Isaac Harper. I mean, there might be some other ones I'm forgetting at East Lansing. Just guys that just make huge chunk plays with sure feet.
I mean, when you look at high school football around here, tailbacks. I mean, first of all, you start at Sexton.
Yeah.
And East Lansing ain't too far behind.
Tailback high.
We've had some decent ones, at Eastern, but it's Sexton, East Lansing by far that put out the best running backs in the area.
Yep. All right, he's Kerry Keyton. I'm Tom Crawford. Join us next week. Come on out. It'll be we will know so much more a week from today. That will be Sunday morning, September 29th. We are going to know, in my opinion, where these seasons are headed for both Michigan State and Michigan, especially for Michigan. 29th is a week from today. Isn't it? No, I take it back. 22nd. 22nd. I'm getting ahead of the game.
Ahead of us, man.
Getting ahead of the game.
Don't get us through
next
the season
week,
too soon.
The 21st is the USC game and the BC game. Yeah. So next Sunday, we're going to know a lot more.
Shake out Saturday, huh?
shakeouts. I think more so for Michigan. I think Michigan State is still going to be a work in progress, and they're trending upward, and I don't think their fan base is going to get disheveled with a loss. Michigan fans will be in complete meltdown if they lose to USC. Despite the fact they're expecting it, they will be in meltdown mode. They were in meltdown mode yesterday, and so brace yourself, people.
Bad in Ann Arbor yesterday.
just talking to people.
Really?
People chat.
See, that's that fanboy. The
Fanboy.
Are you on the team or not?
Yeah.
I don't. Again,
yeah, were you at that Monday practice?
They don't need you to pat on them on the back when they're winning. They need you to support when things aren't going well.
Spoken as an ex-Michigan State player.
Support the kids.
Yes. All right. Till next time. See ya.
Go green.
Go blue.
See, that shit is so ratchet. I hate that shit. They'd be so quick to start throwing people under the bus. Oh, we suck. Davis Warren sucks. Alex Orji sucks. But I'm like, it wasn't good yesterday, Tom.
It
wasn't good yesterday.
Getting booed like
100,000 boos.
Yeah. Something fierce.
But they like that, like he out there trying to do bad though.